Hello, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Last time we did, I guess, let's call it not so brainstorming, and this time we're going to delve into some of actually trying to figure out ways to communicate out to the outside world that were specifically here, of all places. Bus time. And that said, the first priority was looking into the more realistic possibility of communication through sound. In other words, examining the ruins of the bus and seeing if the horn was still functional. As a matter of fact, I had a bit of knowledge about motor vehicles. Oh, really? I'd liked cars ever since I was a young child. Back in the day, I loved tagging around along with my dad to the market every morning in our mini truck. I guess my somewhat tomboyish fascination with cars amused my dad, as he would often let me sit in his lap and take the wheel. And let me drive around the market grounds for the sheer fun of it. Careful there. How old were you at the time? Some reason I'm just imagining like a 4-year-old doing this. Of course, I'd gotten a little old for that, but I never lost my curiosity about automobiles. I picked up a bit of knowledge about how they function. Crawling through the broken rear window, I made my way into the overturned bus once again. Inside, the smell of leaking fuel had grown noticeably thicker in the air. After slowly and carefully making my way the length of the bus, I reached the driver's seat to find the key still seated in the ignition of the bus. But the cylinder had been firmly turned to the off position. Come to think of it, that was my doing. When I dragged Mr. Ochi from the driver's seat, I found the eerie glow of the dashboard backlight so creepy that I immediately switched it off. It might have been a good call. You only have so much battery. The horn is based on not battery, though. I mean, there'll still be electrical systems in order to help operate it and make it go, but most vehicles, especially nowadays, are probably not going to be basing their horn purely on a mechanical system. 100%. Like, from the initiation of you giving an input to it actually going. Clutching the key tightly, I said a small prayer to no one in particular, and twisted it on. The dashboard sprung immediately to life, and I heard the distinctive stirring of the fuel pump motor. Do horns actually require... Like, I sort of get the idea of the electrical system maybe being necessary in a small way, but... Apparently the battery's still alive. Must have been a dry cell. With the vehicle sideways like this, the liquid electrolytes would have leaked out of a wet battery. Now I was tempted to keep turning the key to start, but the engine was probably a lost cause. I'd just be wasting precious battery juice in that attempt. Yeah, it might also cause more problems. First off, I was here to test whether the horn was operational. I gave the center of the steering wheel a light push with the palm of my hand, and a surprisingly loud blast of sound rang through the air. At the sudden sound, everyone in the valley turned as one to stare in my direction. For the moment, I confirmed the horn was operational. Now we have to consider how to make effective use of it. There probably is a limited amount of times you could use it to. Whether that's a lot of times or a little, I don't know. I don't know that much about exactly how horns operate. The basic concept is easy enough, but that doesn't really translate into understanding precisely what limitations it has. Just blasting away aimlessly would run down the battery quickly, so it seemed unnecessary to discuss how and when we should utilize it. Turning the ignition back to off for now, I cautiously made my way back out of the bus.
クラクション使えるみたいね。そうだね。あとはどのタイミングで鳴らすかってのが問題かな。いくら鳴らしてもそれを聞きつけて救助を呼んでくれる人がそばにいなければまずは音という要素を一つ確保したというところで満足するべきね。それをそのまま使うのか、それとも他の何かと組み合わせて使うのか、その辺は今後考えていきましょう。
My bad. I went to take a drink and then I brought my hand back and I accidentally bumped the keyboard, which decided apparently to also go forward. My bad. I turned around and looked at the direction of the road. At a guess, it was perhaps 200 meters distance from the bottom of the ravine that we are trapped in. The sound of our horn would probably carry that far. Oh, would it carry far enough for people to hear it in their cars? It did not sound like we were in a location that was, populated enough to really count on the idea that anyone would be outside of their car. But how are we supposed to know if someone was up there at any given moment? That was the biggest problem with this idea. From that distance, a car could be rumbling fairly noisily down the road, and we likely wouldn't notice. I could immediately think of anything other than the passive strategy of honking the horn at regular intervals, in the hope of coincidence.
捜索隊のヘリでも飛んできてくれれば分かりやすいんだけどな。
Maybe.
ヘリコプターだと逆に自分の出す音が大きすぎてこちらの出す音に気がつかないんじゃないかしら。
Right, so we should probably create multiple ways to signal anyone that's coming around from that's like specifically looking in this direction. Sounds, maybe some significant, going back to your digital idea, that might be a good one. Do we have any sheets of varying colors? I mean, if we can make like a big tapestry of maybe people just like holding up like so idea. So we probably don't have anything like this, and there might be another equivalent that we could use that I'm not thinking of. Imagine you had a red sheet of paper and a white sheet of paper. You had everyone hold up the red sheet of paper in a specific pattern, whatever, probably square or rectangle or whatever. And then you just have everyone at certain intervals switch the two colors. That would definitely allow at least someone who's at least looking down here to get the, or maybe just like looking in the general area, get our, notice us, because it creates a distinct pattern of changes. In the same way, acceleration is more noticeable than just going fast, because you're changing. That's something that your senses notice more when things change, in any sense. So, not sure what another equivalent would be, but that would sort of basically be the digital communication method that Kazuki was mentioning.
そうか。あ、音がダメなら光は？ヘッドライトを取り外して空に向けて点灯してみたらどうかな？
いいアイデアだとは思うけど。
Turning back and following Kazuki's gaze, I discovered why she trailed off mid-sentence. After tumbling down a slope 200 meters in length, finally plunging to pit-like valley, the bus resembled a gigantic piece of gum chewed up and spat out by a dinosaur. The roof was caved in, the windows were all broken, and the headlights and turn signals were no exception to the general rule. Everyone was smashed beyond repair.
ダメか。
You do have different... well, I guess it depends. So I was thinking like the different colors maybe through the lights, but... I don't know if most car lights, like the red and the white different lights, are typically done by filtering through the cap, the glass or plastic cap to it that makes it look red, or if it's normally a red light that's under there already.
室内灯とかテールランプの一つも生き残っていれば何かの役に立つかもしれないし。
そうだね。
Katsuki and I divided the job searching the wreckage of the bus for potentially useful items, but the noticeably important things had already been carried out. The only new discoveries were a few discarded magazines and a slightly dirty blanket that had been used as cushioning in the luggage compartment, as well as a small metal box containing a bare handful of tools and a single fire extinguisher probably designed for use against vehicle fires. Nothing to write home about, in other words. I tried to go in without much in the way of expectations, but there was definitely a part of me clinging to the faint hope of discovering something. As an armful of canned food and some explored nook of the luggage compartment would have sent me back to camp jumping for joy. That hope was dashed, and the disappointment hit me much harder than I had expected.
ねえ、カズキ。私たち どうなるのかな。
Not actually a useful question, but if you need to do that to settle your nerves, that's okay.
その質問、今日だけで4回目よ。そして私は毎回同じ答えを口にしている。
なるようにしかならないし、なんとでもなるから今はただ希望を捨てずにできることをしなさいだよね。分かってはいるんだけど、どうしてもね。
For now, we simply do what we can. In other words, there was a slight glimmer of optimism, the suggestion that at some undefined later we would escape. That vague hope was too slippery to cling on to. I couldn't see anything but overwhelming, unpredictable reality. That anxiety and uncertainty was almost too much to bear. I felt as though someone had suddenly dropped an enormous whale in front of me and told me to fillet it with a single fruit knife. Holding back tears, I was thrusting my tiny blade into the thick, unyielding blubber, tormented by a sense of futility, doubtful I was accomplishing anything at all. Just waiting for someone to tell me, it's impossible, just give up. In such a situation, I couldn't help but sink into pessimism and passivity. Is help coming? When will they arrive? What if they never find us? Can we possibly escape on our own? Can we possibly survive this? I knew full well that anguishing over such unanswerable questions accomplished nothing. Before I realized it, they were oozing out from the dark corners of my mind. Is this another one of those involuntary psychological defense mechanisms designed to push us through life? When I asked Kazuki, she shook her head and told me flat out, "No, that's probably just your personality." Ooh, that's gonna help. During the time we spent in the bus, Kaneda and Komori apparently completed their kite. Everyone left their personal projects behind for a while and gathered to watch the launch. The string they used was a slender fishing line taken from the tackle box. Its tensile strength was point of concern, but so it was decided to run an initial test of flight without the cell phone attached. The length of the line was about 100 meters, leaving inside the cell phone part of the plan. If we could get it up that high, someone might notice it from the road. But as it turned out, reality isn't quite that convenient. It was, after all, a kite made by a bunch of amateurs from rough visual memory. There wasn't any realistic chance of it soaring beautifully into the sky. After many failed launches, the makeshift kite ended up crashing to the ground and falling to pieces. To be perfectly honest, everyone gathered there had been more or less expecting as much from the very start. Even the girls who constructed it. The failure didn't inspire any wailing or gnashing of teeth. Even it had floated perfectly. Still, the lid of the trees hanging thickly over the valley, weaving even a well-constructed kite up through the gaps of in the canopy without tangling it hopelessly in the branches would clearly have been very difficult. Even so, Kaneda and Komori said they'd give it another shot and immediately began repairing their broken kite. But apparently, the general feeling was that nothing more was going to come of this. Everyone left them alone with their manual construction and headed back to their own stations. In the end, Kaneda and Komori never did succeed in getting the kite into the sky. Later that day, Mr. Ochi told me that it probably wouldn't have achieved much anyway. We were geographically quite close to the town Mr. Ochi had been born and raised in, and from what he said, the cell phone reception in the whole area was notoriously awful. What's more, take a look at a map. There's a nicely paved national highway running straight through this region. We'd fallen while driving down an old back road. Oh, great. Who made that dumb decision? Apparently it was in frequent use when Mr. Ochi was a student here, but nowadays almost no one takes it without some specific and compelling reason. He'd chosen it as a detour, concerned about traffic on the highway heading home. Wow. Don't bring that up to too many people, they're going to start blaming you. Unfortunately, the entrance to the road was narrow and inconspicuous. Because of the poor condition of the surface, it was sealed off every time heavy rain fell. And as a result, the traffic was extremely light. In the first place, we wouldn't have plunged off the road if there had been a proper guardrail on that tight curve. Even if we got a cell phone well above the cliff, there's a good chance it wouldn't pick up a signal. I thought we should probably pass this information on to Kaneda and Komori, who were even then absorbed in repairing the almost certainly useless kite. When I suggested as much, however, Kazuki frowned and told me, let it be. Rather than wasting effort on the losing bet, wouldn't it be more effective to have them try out something else? No. Maybe. Possibly. it's a very delicate situation, isn't it? In the end. In response to that question, Kazuki smirked slightly, cocked her head slightly to the side, and asked me if I was willing to hear out a bit of complicated stuff. That light mocking body language of hers was getting on my nerves, but I agreed to listen, after stressing my request for the clear and concise version, of course.
私たちがここに来てまだ2日目よ。今はまだ拡散期です。つまり、今は多くの無駄を重ねて加減を学ぶ時期なの。
Little failures that you sort of expect to failure as you expect to fail. So, she's probably gonna get the same idea that I've been getting at. The idea that ripping away people's hope probably isn't the best for them.
放っておいても、そのうち勝手に学んで無駄をしなくなるわよ。
To summarize, we are newborn infants relative to this environment. We need to be allowed to wail, wriggle around aimlessly, and pop things into our mouths. Otherwise, our maturation process would be crippled. Apparently, I sort of understood what Kazuki was getting at, but I thought about how those two would feel when they discovered their work had been in vain. I couldn't help wanting to let them know. Turning my back on Kazuki, I walked over to the Kaneda-senpai. She was perched on a moderately sized rock, her brow furrowed with earnest concentration, and she tried to untangle a complex clump of a fishing line.
あ、まあ知ってたよ。
Kaneda received my hesitant advice with unexpected composure.
佐久間先輩からそんな話は聞いてたしね。
Hope is hope, and when you have hope, that's sometimes the only thing you can focus on.
佐久間先輩から？
I turned around to face the person in question, still tirelessly flinging her battered cell phone high into the air a few meters away.
どういうことです？
ああ、実は上の道路にいた時から県外だってのは分かってたんだ。
Oh, you already straight up knew that and had experienced it. Damn. Slightly before the bus plunged off the cliff, Sakuma had casually opened her cell phone, checked the time, and noticed the words "no signal" in the corner of the screen. Well, that's somewhat true. Still might be a signal up there. The thing about cell phone signals is that in your pocket they tend to be worse, so it might take a little bit for them to catch up and re-establish a decent signal. She even remembered worrying idly about how we would call the police if we got in an accident out here.
じゃあ電波が入らないことを知っていて、それでも携帯を投げ続けていたってことですか？
まあそうなるかな。でも絶対に入らないと決まったわけじゃないし、たまたま私の携帯が県外だっただけで、他のキャリアなら入るかもしれないだろ。
For that reason, she decided to try borrowing Ibuki's phone, a different model, on a different network, and tossing it instead. But Ibuki said that if anyone's going to throw her cell phone around, it's going to be her. In the end, the two of them ended up out here, tossing and picking up their phones together.
結局のところ、伊吹の携帯でもダメっぽいんだけど、ほら、私はこんな性格だからさ、無駄だって頭じゃ分かっていても、体を動かしてないと落ち着かないんだ。そういう勝負なんだよ。
Thinking back, Sakuma had approached basketball with a similar mindset. No matter how overwhelming our opponent was in the next match, she would practice diligently, even knowing we would lose. Even when she was the only one left in the gym, she'd keep right on going.
バスケの試合にしたってそうだけど、やれることはあったのにっていう後悔が一番悔しいと私は思うんだ。
Yeah. This is the second time I think this has been mentioned, this regret.
どうせ負けるにしろ、やるだけのことをやった上での敗北なら、勝利はなくても満足は得られるし、その次につながるだろ。
Words very typical of Sakuma, well known in our team for her silent dedication. She stood out for her skill, but had apparently removed herself from consideration for the captaincy, preferring to avoid placing herself above others. So, the person who didn't mind that took the position. However, there's one person whose mood took a rapid, obvious turn for the sour at this little speech. Her roommate in the dorm and partner in the valley, Ibuki.
私はクマ先輩のそういう無駄に暑苦しいところとか苦手です。それに
電波が入らないって話、私は聞いてませんよ。
Ibuki had been drafted into this exercise in futility without her knowledge, but she chose to do it. She didn't have to do it. She just wanted to use her phone, right? Judging the way she was biting her lower lip and squeezing herself tightly in her hands, she wasn't happy about it. The girl had a tendency to complain fairly easily, a trait that often left her somewhat isolated from the group in both the classroom and on the team.
あれ？言ってなかったっけ？そういう大雑把で忘れっぽいところも嫌いです。悪かったよ、ブッキー。
Those words she called her nickname that totally is not going to get on her nerves whatsoever, definitely. Those words, Sakuma casually slipped her hand around Ibuki's waist, drew the younger girl close, and rested her chin on top of Ibuki's head.
ブッキーって呼ばないでください。
Nodding, Ibuki mumbled, then even her classmates had started to pick up that stupid nickname. Apparently, even seemingly mismatched individuals could develop some fairly intimate bonds, given enough time together. Oh, so soon. Staring at the two of them, I entertained some idle speculation about which one would be wearing the pants, not even noticing my cheeks growing hot. Apparently, my trivial delusions were showing pretty clearly in my face as Sakuma gave me a broad, boastful grin.
だから言っただろ？君たちが思っているほど私たちは仲が悪いわけじゃないってさ。
はあ。
君の相方はどうした？あの風見って子は放っておくとへそを曲げてすね始めるタイプだと思うよ。
You know, you're actually probably right about that.
まさかあの和樹ですよ。
She does really seem to enjoy the attention. I'm guessing she doesn't get it a bunch. Kazami Kazuki didn't need anyone's attention. To her, I was nothing but a personal chef, a convenient servant girl, an occasional object of amusement. And if Kazuki really needed to, I was pretty sure she could pick up cooking quickly enough. Give her a while, and she'd probably be good enough to leave me very nearly worthless.
わかっちゃいないね。全然だよ、周防あまね。だったら君はどうしてあの風見和樹とのペアを選んだんだい？
それは
Pick her? I don't really have a choice in the matter. Yeah, you always sort of do. As for why things turned out that way, it was probably because we both realized I was the only person on the team capable of putting up with that fiercely unique personality of hers.
じゃあさ、風見に同じ質問をされたとき、こう答えてみればいいよ。
As Sakuma leaned over to whisper in my ear, I got a strong whiff of the refreshing citrusy scent of her body. The way her breath tickled my ears as she spoke didn't help either. I froze stiff as a statue, unable to really focus on processing the meaning of her words.
それでバッチリ。風見が君のことをどう思っているか、はっきりとわかると思うよ。
Oh, is that just the excuse to not actually tell the player what was said?
でも、強い言葉だから、あまり頻発しない方がいいと思うな。それが私からのアドバイス。
Huh. Oh, wait. Oh, I bet she said something like, I love you, or something like that. Or you're my best friend, or I don't know. It's something that if you do say enough will lose their meaning, yeah?
はあ、さようで。
I didn't really get it, but to be honest, it felt like the most likely outcome would be Kazuki laughing in my face. Then again, it probably couldn't really hurt to give it a shot sometime, if I happen to remember.
ほら、お姫様がへそを曲げる前に戻りなよ。
You really do think well of her.
お姫様ね。
I'm sort of a Sakuma here. She seems to have a decent read on her, I think. Not that I found Sakuma's theory particularly convincing, but I did decide to head back in search of Kazuki. However, her shoes weren't in front of our tent. I took a quick look inside anyways, but there was no sign of her. What's this? Where'd she get to now? Well, Sakuma might not have been too far off the mark. Leaving Kazuki unattended for too long didn't seem to be the best idea, considering this habit of casually strolling off without a word. Don't tell me she's wandered off to that forest again. Maybe she was actually doing this on purpose, waiting for me to come looking for her. Nah, I was definitely reading too much into this now. I could totally sort of see her trying to manipulate Amani to give her attention. I don't know, she seems like the type who doesn't get it much. And even if she isn't like an attention hog or a brat or any way in that form, she may be trying to take advantage of the situation, even if she probably realizes she is, even if she is, though. Okay, well, it is what it is. That said, there's no reason to think Kazuki was coming back anytime soon. Considering that blunt personality of hers, the longer I left her on her own devices, the more likely she'd end up quarreling and causing us trouble. For heaving a little sigh and mumbling a few complaints about my nuisance of a partner, I ended up trotting off in search of her, like a hopeless soft touch, the hopeless soft touch I was. As it turned out, though my search wasn't a particularly arduous one, Kazuki's whereabouts came to light within 2 minutes. I discovered her shoes lying neatly by side in front of the largest structure in our camp, the conspicuous 6-person tent.
Kazuki, いるの?
Is the girl with the broken bone still in there? When dealing with the tent, knocking isn't exactly an option, so I hesitantly called out to her through the door.
いるわ。入っていらっしゃいな。
うん。
A 6-person tent is probably pretty darn big. As instructed, I removed my shoes and crawled into the tent. The interior was dimly lit, muggy, and filled with the overpowering stench of disinfectant and sweat. I let out a small reflexive groan of dismay.
どうだった？電波の話。金田さんたちに伝えた？
Even as Kazuki spoke, she was applying disinfectant to Sakurai's wounded stomach. Maybe the gloomy lighting had something to do with it, but the gash across Sakurai's abdomen and the rough fishing line stitches holding it shut seemed all the more gruesome today, to the point I could barely stand to look at it. Well, hopefully she's not moving around much.
悪いけど、手すきのようなら広岡さんの額のタオルを変えてあげてもらえる？
わかった。
I turned to the other side of the tent as requested. Hiroka-san was lying nearby with a damp towel on her forehead, repeating long, deep breaths. Her eyes were squeezed tightly shut. It was obvious at a glance that she was still suffering from the fever, brought on by breaking both her legs. The howls and moans which had continued throughout the night had gone quiet this morning, so I had assumed her condition had improved, but it was clear to me that she simply lost the physical strength to scream.
広岡さん、大丈夫?
Oh, that's not gonna... anyone with a set of functional eyes could tell in a second that she wasn't remotely alright, but I couldn't find anything else to say. When I took the towel from her forehead, it was burning with such heat that it could have been resting on a hot iron plate. She was drawing regular, repeated breaths, but there was no response whatsoever to my question. Although she seemed to be awake, she didn't seem fully conscious of her surroundings. Soaking the hot towel in a plastic bag filled with cold water, I gave it a very light squeeze, then replaced it on Hiroka-san's forehead.
ありがとう、風見さん。
私じゃないわ。今あなたを見ているのは周防あまねよ。
ありがとう、周防さん。
そう、意識をしっかりね。呼吸のタイミングを忘れないように。
ごめんね。
いいのよ。
Kazuki kept up a conversation with Hiroka-san without even turning around. In that moment, watching the silhouette of her back in that dim tent was strangely reassuring for me. There was something strong, almost dignified about her just then, as though she was some famous physician utterly confident in her role. Having completed her disinfection of Sakurai's wound, Kazuki began to quickly wind the bandages back into place, speaking in an ice-cold voice as she worked.
桜井さん、包帯で蒸し暑い上に縫った傷がかゆいのはわかりますが、かきむしらないでください。かゆみというのは軽微な痛みのことです。かゆいということは治癒が進んでいる証拠なのですから、どんなにかゆくても我慢してください。
Yeah, that's a pretty minor thing ultimately. If all you have to worry about it is it being itchy, then yeah, that's... At least you have feeling there.
はい、ごめんなさい。
どうしても我慢できないときは呼んでください。その時はまた消毒します。
Yeah, the thing about a like the gash there, is that you move that part of your body a ton more in comparison to the person who got hurt on the head. Like that, your eyebrows might cause the issue, but on your like stomach, just bending your body, even trying to sleep.
わかりました。ありがとう。
また後で様子を見に来ます。
With those words, Kazuki crawled out of the tent, signaling for me to follow with a glance.
包帯を洗いに行こうと思うのだけれど、私はうまく手が使えないから、あなた付き合ってもらえる？
あ、うん、それは構わないけど。
じゃあ行きましょう。
I caught a quick glimpse of the long strips of cloth blackened with blood in Kazuki's hands, presumably Sakurai's old bandages. But in the next moment, she turned her back on me and abruptly began to walk off. What was this? She seemed to be in something of a bad mood. Unfortunately, it was a little difficult to tell for sure in Kazuki's case, as she was more than a little bit brusque at the best of times.
広岡さんと桜井さんの状態はどうなのか。
Yeah, I can imagine the answer to that probably isn't helping her mood.
それが聞きたいんじゃなくて？
うん。
できれば彼女たちには聞かれたくないの。移動しながら話しましょう。
So badly. Got it.
わかっ
The
た。
fact that it's been 2 days and she needs to be told to not scratch the itch. Ooh. Well, that explained the sudden exit. Kazuki's estimate of the medical situation wasn't as pessimistic as I had feared. Sakurai's abdominal lacerations apparently healing relatively steadily. Okay, the larger problem was Hiroka-san and her fractured legs. Although Kazuki had straightened her legs, pulled the bones into place, and fixed them with a makeshift splints, the blazing fever that had come in her injury showed no signs of receding. Hiroka-san wasn't exactly what you call robust or sturdy to begin with. At present, she'd weakened to the point that her body was incapable of accepting the nourishment it needed to heal. What was she throwing up? They tried to feed her a light soup, even crushing the small chunks of potato with a spoon to make it easier to swallow. But after swallowing more than mere three mouthfuls, she insisted she was completely full. I guess what's the actual physical situation there? And continuing to feed her regardless only resulted in her vomiting back up the entire meal. Ooh.
それでも安静にしていれば少しずつ回復に向かうとは思うけれど、難しいわね。
And she's probably physically using a lot more energy than us, just part of the healing process alone. Not to mention the activity that her body's going through, just trying to deal with the fever and everything else. She's probably squirming around using more energy than any of us.
時間がかかるってこと？
I guess that really just showed the need for IVs and stuff, yeah?
それもあるけれど、薬が絶対的に足りないわ。
Our only source of medical supplies was a single first aid kit we kept on hand to treat scrapes during practice. Although we were well stocked in band-aids, disinfectant, and pain-relieving patches, we lacked antibiotics to prevent lacerations from festering, and drugs to bring down the agonizing inflammation caused by bone fractures.
彼女たちは自分たちが集団の中で負担になっていることを気にしているわ。わざとらしく優しく接すると彼女たちの自責に拍車をかけかねないから、できるだけ自然に接してあげた方がいいわ。
And that would explain why she seemed oddly impassive back there, I guess. Well, I had to admit it would probably be exceptionally creepy to have Kazuki, of all people, treating you with tender compassion.
それであなたの方はどうだったの？携帯電話の電波が入らない可能性があることを金田小森のペアに伝えに行ったのでしょ？
彼女たちそのことを知っていたみたい。
そう。
無駄かもしれないと分かっていても他に何もすることがないし可能性もゼロじゃないからって。
Yeah, hope is hope and the hope and the hope.
それと佐久間先輩からの新情報だけど、上の道路でも携帯は圏外だったみたい。先生も先輩もなんでもっと早く言ってくれなかったのかな。
電波の入りが悪かったのは先生が学生の頃の話だから、今は改善されている可能性もあるという希望を残しておきたかったのかもしれないわね。それにこんな状況でしょ。先生としてもなるべくネガティブな意見は口にしたくなかったんじゃないかしら。
気持ちはわかるけど、そういう情報って早めに出し合った方がいいと思うな。それに変にペアなんか組まずにみんなで一丸になって情報を出し合ったり、仕事を分散した方が効率がいいと思うけど。
Do we want to be efficient, or do we want to waste our time and effort more significantly? I don't know. It's a weird balance by itself. This whole idea of dividing ourselves into pairs that would operate independently in Nikazuki's suggestion. It's true that the difficulty of keeping everyone supervised was dramatically reduced under this system, since everyone would naturally be keeping an eye on the other partner. That was pretty much the only benefit I could see. Everyone cooperating seemed more likely to produce good ideas. It felt like operating in one large group could reduce the weight of any given individual. The weight that any given individual was carrying on their shoulders. Yes and no. I don't think you could operate in a group at all times. People just get on each other's nerves, and if you had any sort of break in the cooperation and teamwork out of like someone just lashing out, that would just destroy everyone's ability to work too. And I don't really think anyone really wants to just be spending their entire day with everyone else the entire time.
それがそうでもないのよね。意見の数が増えるだけではまとまりに欠けるし、負担が減りすぎる個体が出てくるのもまた問題なのよ。
どういうこと？負担が減りすぎる？
あまね、あなた働きアリの法則って知ってる？
知らない。何それ？アリ？
話すと長いから選択しながら説明しましょう。
Apparently Kazuki had pushed us to adopt this pair system with all its seeming drawbacks in an attempt to avoid a specific organizational problem known as the worker ant principle. It's obvious she was fully prepared to give me another headache-inducing lecture, so I asked her to give me the short version, which went something like this. Within any relatively organized group, the appearance of individuals who toil diligently at their job tends to be counteracted by those others beginning to neglect their work. For example, in ant society, inside a colony, an organization is operating under the leadership of a queen ant. They're apparently not only the familiar work ants, but also a sizable population of slacker ants that spend most of their time wandering around aimlessly. If you pick out all the hardworking ants who take their duty seriously and place them in a brand new colony, a fairly consistent percentage will lose their previous enthusiasm and transform into slackers. And back into the old nest, where all the hard workers have suddenly vanished, a good chunk of the slacker ants will soon begin throwing themselves vigorously into their work. It's apparently a well-observed phenomenon. The principle isn't limited to ants alone. It applies to the human societies as well. This natural tendency to lean heavily on the overachievers makes efficiently managing an organization in the long term much more difficult than one might imagine. By dividing us into pairs, the colony was decentralized. Everyone was essentially forced to help their partner, making it harder to coast along as a slacker. On top of which, it would be possible to encourage competition between small groups, producing a meteoric rise in net productivity per capita or something. I did more or less understand what she was trying to say, but to be perfectly honest, I couldn't shake the feeling that she was just definitely pulling the wool over my eyes. It definitely has a point. It's hard to deny that there definitely is an advantage to what she's saying. I had not heard of this before. I'm trying to think of how it applies to, like, my job. Just thinking of, like, one specific person in my job, like, on my team. That's like, you know, most of the time whenever I see them doing something, it's not work.
つまりちゃんとした意味があってペア制度を採用しているってこと？
そういうこと。今はそのメリットをあまり感じ取れないかもしれないけれど、そうね。例えば集団の中で喧嘩が発生した時とか、その意味が見えてくると思うわ。
よくわからないけど、和樹がそういうのならそうなんでしょうね。
なんだかそれ、あまり好きではない言いようだわ。言いたいことや不満があれば遠慮なく言いなさいと言ったでしょ。
ごめん、別に不満とか思ってないし、ただ和樹の言うことなら間違いないかなって、そういう意味で言っただけだよ。
あなたは私の奴隷ではなくお友達でしょ？それともそんな風に思っているのは私だけ？もしそうならそれはあまりにも悲しいわ。
怒らないでよ。別に皮肉を言ったつもりもないんだし。
もしあなたが私とのペアに不満があるのなら他のことを変わってくれても構わないのよ。
Oh my goodness.
あ、その言い草こそ傷つくな。あなたこそ別に私じゃなくても便利な女なら誰でもいいのね。
そうは言っていないでしょ。
そう聞こえたもの。あなたこそ私とのペアに不満を。
All of a sudden, the word Sakuma had whispered into my ear popped vividly into my mind.
何？あって。だいたいあなたどうして私とのペアなんて受け入れたの？
Ah, it actually literally comes up.
それはね、和樹のことが一番好きだからだよ。
Ah.
だからこのメンバーの中で私は和樹のことが一番好きだからあなたとペアを組んだの。
Oh my.
ああ、そう。
You know, Kazuki, for all her composure, feels like she'd be very fun to mess with.
和樹は私のこと
包帯を洗わなきゃ。
和樹？
Huh? What? Was this really happening? Kazumi Kazuki flushed with embarrassment. Amazing, Sakuma-senpai. It really worked. I would give a testimony over your infomercial.
ねえ和樹、私のこと好きなんでしょ？それも
うるさい。私は今忙しいのよ。くだらないことを話している暇があったら手伝ってほしいのだけれど。
ああ、ごまかした。図星なのね。
図星とかそういう、どうしてそんな言い方をするの？言わなくてもわかることでしょ。
和樹。
She is so ridiculously adorable that I just couldn't help myself. Sneaking up behind Kazuki, I gently rested my hands on her shoulders, then leaned forward and nuzzled my nose against the back of her head. With a hysterical little shriek that could only be described as alarmingly out of character, Kazami Kazuki jerked forward, lost her balance, and pitched her face first into the marshy stream.
和樹ごめん、大丈
あなた、自分には同性愛の趣味はないって言ってなかったかしら？
夫？いや、ないけどさ。でも今はそれも悪くないかなってちょっと思ってる。そう、あなたとなら。
うかつだったわ。いい？あなたが今感じているその感情は吊り橋効果で説明ができます。落ち着いてもう一度自分の中の感情を整理してみましょう。
Aren't you way too honest?
服濡れちゃったね。脱がしてあげる。
いや、落ち着いて、そこは動かないで。それ以上近づいたら悲鳴をあげるわよ。
ごめん、冗談だってば。
冗談？
だから私にそっちの趣味なんて本当にないから安心して。ほら、いつまでも冷たい水の中に座ってると風邪ひいちゃうよ。ほら、手を出して。
Ignoring Kazuki's bitter scowl, I offered her my hand, which she accepted with a great show of reluctance. Oh, she's gonna get me back for this, isn't she?
ひどい目にあったわ。
だからごめんって、冗談が過ぎたよ。
あなたの冗談は笑えないわ。
Oh, don't you say that.
おお、和樹の口からそんなセリフが聞ける日が来るとは長生きはするもんだよね。
言ってなさい。私をいじめると夜中にお化けが来るんだから。
Why are you the one saying this still?
やめてよ。夜おトイレに行けなくなっちゃうじゃない。
そもそもここにはトイレなんてないわよ。
機嫌直してよね。さっきのは確かに冗談だけど、私が和樹のことを好きだっていうのは本当だから。
どうせ誰か悪い先輩にでもそう言えって入れ知恵されたのでしょ。いいからさっさと洗濯を済ませてしまいましょう。
もうそういうこと言う子は可愛くないぞ和樹。
生まれてこの方可愛いなんて母親にも言われたことなんてないわ。
あ、ちょっと和樹、制服は脱がないでいいの？
大丈夫よ、夏だしすぐに乾くわ。
Be careful, you might get it going.
胸が小さくても笑ったりしないよ。
どうしてあなたはそういうことを平気で言うの？なんだかあなた最初の頃と随分キャラクターが変わってきていない？
She's really buying into the sadist masochist approach. She's just switching it up a little bit.
もともと私はこういうキャラだし、あなたという存在に慣れてきたってことじゃないかな。
そうやって私をおもちゃにしてればいいのよ。いつか罰が当たるんだから。って、
何、どうしたの？
So I hear a little sound.
犬？
Wait, what? I look down to find a toy breed dog at Kazuki's feet, rubbing his face up against her legs and snuffling in evident curiosity.
これって小森さんの飼っている犬？
Has the dog been here this whole time, or are we just finding it for the first time since the crash?
そうみたいね。
何？和樹って犬が苦手なの？
Oh my goodness, when are we gonna eat the dog? That's totally gonna be a thing, isn't it?
そうじゃないけど、急に茂みの中から飛び出してきたからびっくりしたわ。
飼い主は？小森さんはいないの？この子一人でここまで来たのかな？
Okay, okay, that makes it sound like it's been here the whole time. Or at the very least, we've been aware of it being here the whole time. She brought a pet dog with her on a trip. Wow, like a club trip.
そうみたいね。喉が渇いているみたいだから水の匂いをたどってここまで来たのかもしれない。
Like a training camp trip, too.
そっか。じゃあちょっと待ってて。今お水汲んであげる。
やめた方がいいわ。
どうして？
この手の品種改良が施された小型犬は内臓が弱いことがあるし、飼い主の許可なく生水はあげない方がいいわよ。
あ、そうなんだ。でも私、昨日からここのお水ガブガブ飲んでるけど、全然。
あなたは見るからに健康だし、生水ぐらい全然平気だと思うけれど、この子は見るからに繊細そうだから、一度煮沸してから飲ませた方がいいんじゃないかしら。
その言葉、何気に傷つくぞ。
Yes, you're a big, undelicate dog. Yes, we've gotten the metaphor game. All the girls are dogs. What sort of dog is Kazuki?
キャンプに戻れば煮沸済みのお水があるから、それをあげましょう。我慢できる？
Although it almost certainly didn't have the first clue what Kazuki's words meant, the little dog responded with a high-pitched bark and began wagging its tail happily.
そう、いい子ね。
嘘。和樹って犬と会話するキャラ？
Yeah, well, I think she might actually be a dog. You know, what if this wasn't really Kazuki and it was just Amane, just like a fever dream, having a fever dream, imagining all the dogs around her as people.
あのね、私だって一応そういう女の子らしい一面だってあるわよ。
Well, we sort of saw that earlier, yeah.
まあ、わかるような気もする。
Kazuki did seem likely to turn into one of those hard-working career women, the hard-ass middle manager in pantsuits, who ended up blazing right past marriageable age without sparing time for men. And this was exactly the sort of dog she'd be keeping in her apartment to help distract her from the loneliness of her existence. Oh wow, okay. Working like a maniac during the day, chewing out her male underlings at every opportunity, earning the intimidated awe of other women, getting herself the ignominious title of Tyrant Queen of the Office. And then rushing home to her apartment at night, greeting the fluffy ball for waiting at the front door with a sugary "Mommy's home, poopsie," or something like that. And then proceeding to pamper it with gourmet meals, maybe even dressing it up in little sweaters, keeping up a super extreme of baby talk all the while. Oh boy, you have quite a specific view of Kazuki, don't you?
今私あなたのリアルな未来を少しだけ想像してちょっと涙が出そうになったわ。
そう、一体どんな未来を想像したのか詳しく聞いてみたい気もするけれど、聞かない方が心の健康には良さそうね。
Oh, I sort of want to see your reaction.
とりあえず包帯も洗い終わったし戻りましょうか。この子も飼い主のところに連れて行かないといけないし。
With those words, Kazuki bent down and scooped up the dog playing at her feet into her arms.
あ、カズキ片手じゃ大変でしょ。ワンちゃん私が預かるよ。
そう、じゃあお願い。
あれなんか嫌がってる。ほらワンちゃんこっちおいで。どうしたの？
あまね、あなた犬に嫌われるタイプ？
I don't know. Makina seems to like her.
おかしいな。そんなことないと思うんだけど。っていうか逆にカズキはどうしてそんなにその子に懐かれてるの？前からお友達。
いいえ、小森さんが犬を飼っているのは知っていたけど、見たのは初めてだし、名前だって知らないわ。
Komori's love for dogs well known among the team members, and I heard about her puppy. This was my first time seeing it as well. Komori had been so anxious and lonely at the prospects of being separated from her dog during the sleep-away training camp that she ended up smuggling it with her. Okay, that explains it. At the planning meeting before the trip, she timidly tried asking the captain for official permission to take her pet along as companion, but naturally the answer was a curt, "School trips are not your personal vacation." But Komori simply couldn't bring herself to leave the puppy behind. In the end, she decided to hide the animal in her sports bag and apologized once we arrived at the campground and the deal was done.
この犬なんて種類だっけ？マルチーズ？
シーズーでしょ。あなた小型犬は何でもマルチーズに見えるの？
I don't even know what either of those look like. I like dogs a ton better than cats, but I'm just gonna look that up myself. Maltese. It's just one of those little, small, fluffy white ones. Okay, and Shih Tzu. Like, I recognize that name at the very least. Oh, a Shih Tzu is less fluffy and more long hair. I can sort of see the resemblance to a Maltese in these.
だって小型犬なんてマルチーズかチワワぐらいしか知らないもの。あとトイプードル？
どうでもいいからこの子を受け取ってよ。結構重いわ。
いや、わかってるんだけどね。
When I reached out towards it, the tiny dog bared its fangs and gave a sharp bark of warning.
なんかむっちゃ嫌われてるんですけど、なんで？
何か悪いことでもしたの？この子の餌を盗み食いしたとか。
Oh, maybe.
カズキ、あんたもしかして私を食いしん坊キャラにしようとしているの？
Do we even have dog food? I assume it's eating the same food as us. If anything, dogs tend to like me, and I didn't remember mistreating this animal in the 5 minutes I'd known it. I almost felt like, rather than having a problem with me in particular, the dog just didn't want to be carried by anyone other than Kazuki.
もしかしてこの子、カズキのことを群れのボスだと思ってるんじゃない？
That's not really a thing.
はい？ああ、犬は飼われている家の中でボスを決めるっていうあれのこと？
そう。多分だけど、この子は群れのボスを本能で嗅ぎ分けてるんじゃないかな。
You know, I do remember, it wasn't really recently, but there was some stuff that I read about how the original actual person to like identify like, oh, like wolves have like alphas in the packs and all that sort of stuff. like later on observed it more. Like he wrote a whole book about it, published it, got really popular, and became a very well-known cultural thing. But like later on, after more observation, it was like, no, they don't really actually have alphas and stuff like that. It's more just that they're a family, and their family has family members who make decisions and that sort of stuff. And try to like say like, nope, that whole stuff was wrong, but nobody listened. So it's still just in the cultural consciousness, one of those things that's like technically wrong. That doesn't really exist.
それがどうして私なの？私より偉そうな人間なんて他にもいるでしょうに。
それ素で言ってるから和樹ってすごいよね。
何が？
That dog seemed to have recognized Kazuki as the alpha of the pack. Not a captain, not a teacher. Titles don't mean much from an animal, but they're sensitive to confidence, pride, and bossiness. And to be honest, I don't think there were many people who could compete with Kazuki on any of those fronts.
とにかくこの犬は私が連れて行けばいいのね。まったく飼い主は何をしているのかしら。
In the next moment, as if to answer Kazuki's mild mutters of complaint, we heard the panicked voice of the girl in question.
あの声、小森さんの声だよね。もしかしてアーくんってこのチワワのこと？
だからシーズだってば。
小森さん、こっちこっち、こっちにいるよ。
うるさ、急に大きな声を出さないでよ。
あ、ごめん。なんか和樹ってさ、大きな音って嫌いだよね。
私はあなたと違って体も小さいし繊細なのよ。
あのさ、その私が大雑把で無神経な女って設定やめてもらっていいかな。
Kazuki, the toy poodle of the group.
アリオンならここにいるわよ。
The instant Kazuki lowered the dog into the ground, it trotted over to Komori's son and jumped into her waiting arms. Wait, did Kazuki really just give her the dog a new name?
よかった。急に姿が見えなくなったから心配しちゃった。ねえ、アリオンって？
その犬の名前よ。
I mean, Akyun could be a shortened version.
なんで名前知ってるの？さっきは知らないって言ってなかった？そうか。アーくんって呼び名から名前を推理したとか？
Let me guess, it has a collar.
首輪よ。さっき見たら首輪のプレートにアリオンって書いてあったから。
Mwah, mwah.
あ、そうなんだ。なんだ。
I agree a little bit.
あのね、いくら私でもアーくんからアリオンを推理するのは無理だと思うわよ。あまり私を超人だと思わないでね。
なんか和樹の場合、その人の好きな数字を聞いただけでその人の人生を10年先まで言い当てそうな気もするのよね。
あなた、私のことを妖怪か何かと勘違いしてない？
いや、さすがの私もそこまでは言ってないけどさ。
That said, if someone were to tell me they'd seen her brewing potions in a cauldron by moonlight, I don't think I would have dismissed the story out of hand.
見つけてくれてありがとう。ちょっと目を離してる隙にいなくなってしまって、ずっと探して。
その子、喉が渇いているみたいだけど、あなたちゃんとお水あげてる？
でもこの子お腹が弱いから専用のお水しか飲めないし、この子のもしかしてこの子にそこのお水飲ませちゃった？
いいえ、飼い主の許可もなく勝手に生水を飲ませない方がいいと思ったから飲ませなかったわ。
さあ、よかった。ありがとう、気を使ってくれて。
いいのよ、私も犬は好きだし。可愛い子ね。男の子？
そうなの。この子のお母さんっていうのが去年のドッグショーで国内2位になったダイアナで、お父さんが
So you have a, bred dog. Grab, this seems like it's going to last a while. For the disinterested layperson listening to the prideful boast of a dog fancier, sheer agony. Dog fancier or not, I don't think even people who like dogs are typically that interested in that part of it. Especially when you're going out of your way to have specifically breeded dogs, it seems. Or at the very least, going for like that sort of purebred sort of... I don't know. If I ever got a dog, I'd probably go for one like at the pound or something. I don't know, I just find... I'd find that much more beneficial to everyone involved. Like, who cares if they're a mutt or any of that shit? Well then, how can I make my escape? Maybe I should just counterpunch and start lecturing these two about the relative merits of the TE-27 and 510 Bluebird. But as I was idly pondering these matters... In the sky above the cry forest, usually silent but the cries for the birds and whispering in branches, became a soft but distinctive sound of propeller blades tearing through the air.
この音ってヘリだよ。ヘリコプターの音だ。戻ってみんなに知らせなきゃ。急ごう。
Huh. Okay. This doesn't seem like the worst place to end this episode at the very least. Okay, I'll do it right there then. Next time, we get to see how we failed to get the attention of this helicopter. Because guess what? We already know how this ends. At least conceptually. They're not all gonna get saved. Poor dog, though. I'm pretty sure the dog isn't also... Well, I suppose the dog could be a survivor in the end. I do totally expect that we'll end up eating it at some point. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah. Well then, I will see you all next time. Drive safely, everyone.